Another common thing that you'll need to do is to convert a spline or splines into a 3D object that's extruded or beveled. And this is especially useful for motion graphics applications when you have a logo or some kind of 2D graphic that you want to animate or otherwise render in 3D. And commonly, these assets will come from Adobe Illustrator. You can import an Illustrator file directly into 3ds Max and then make it 3D. The only thing you need to keep in mind is that the 3D program will not understand any fills or any type that you've created in Illustrator. To import type from Illustrator, you'll want to convert it to outlines. And very importantly, you'll need to save the Illustrator document as an Illustrator version 8 file. 3ds Max does not support the Illustrator file format after version 8. I've already got that prepped, so let's go ahead and import it into this blank scene. Go to the application menu and click on Import. We don't really need to worry about any of these special import options. We just want to go to straight up import. And we should be taken to our current project's import folder. And that's what we see here. And I've already got that AI document saved out. Select it, click Open. You get a couple dialogues popping up. Do you want to merge into the current scene or replace the current scene? Well, my scene's blank right now, so I can choose Replace. And then we have a choice of importing each one of the curves as a separate object. We don't want to do that. We want to import everything as a single object in this case. Click OK. And now I've got a little logo appearing. And it's very small because when you import an Illustrator document, it's imported at the size that it would print. I'm using 36 or 48 point type here, but it's still really tiny. Okay, that's normal. We scroll back out here. Let's check in on how large each one of these grid squares is. I'll right-click on my snaps, go to Home Grid, and the grid squares are defaulted to 10 inches. I'll set that to 1 inch and set the major grid lines to 12 inches just to illustrate that it's a tiny, small object. I created it on a letter-sized page in Illustrator, and it was only a few inches wide, and that's the size it's going to come in 3ds Max. Also notice that it's sitting flat. If you want it to face forward, you can just, of course, rotate it around. And this is a good opportunity to show you how to snap angle rotations. There's a button on your main toolbar, Angle Snaps. You can enable that, and then when you rotate, it's going to snap to 5-degree increments. So I just want to rotate that 90 degrees. Cool. So now it's facing forward. I can move it around. If I want to, I can scale it and so on to fit it into my scene, but now it's pretty much ready to go. I've imported that Illustrator type object. And again, you have to convert to outlines and then save as an Illustrator 8 document. And any fills or fancy gradients you have are not going to be imported. You're just going to get the lines themselves.